The girl had just fallen asleep when her father suddenly yanked off her blanket. She tried to get up to see what was happening, but he grabbed her by the hair and pinned her down on the bed. To her shock, she saw his eyes filled with desire as he greedily scanned her entire body. Terror instantly made her body tremble. The next moment, he released her hair and gently stroked her face before leaving with a satisfied look, leaving the traumatized girl frozen in place. The next day, the girl watched her mother prepare breakfast, hesitating whether to tell her about last night's incident. Just then, her father came to the dining table and greeted his daughter warmly as usual, as if nothing had happened the night before. But when the girl recalled her father's horrifying behavior, she immediately stood up and walked away. Shortly after, the mother suddenly slammed food onto the table. Everyone looked confused. Then the mother grabbed the food from the table and devoured it ravenously before passing the leftovers to her son. When the father tried to speak up for his son, the mother's eyes suddenly turned cold. In rage, she threw all the food off the table. The son burst into tears at the sight. But that evening when the father came home from work, the mother was tidying up the house. When her husband asked why she had lost her temper that morning, his wife said she had gone to the market early and wasn't home at all. This made the father uneasy. Could the woman that morning not have been his wife? Meanwhile, upstairs, the older sister was showering when she suddenly heard knocking. She looked up and wiped the fog off the glass, only to be startled by her younger sister. Then the younger sister suddenly leaned in and told her to kill everyone in the house. Puzzled, the older sister went to her sister's room to ask what she meant, but the younger sister said she had been in her room all night and never left. Then the younger sister pulled her sister into the room and told her about their father pulling off her blanket last night. But just as she finished speaking, the door was violently pushed open by their father. He picked up a knife from the table, fully drew out the blade, and walked toward the sisters with cold eyes. At that moment, the older sister shoved their father aside and ran with her younger sister. But their father suddenly appeared in front of them and threw the older sister out of the room without hesitation. She fell hard on the stairs and passed out. Terrified, the younger sister ran, but their father didn't chase her. Instead, he went to the kitchen to get a hammer. Meanwhile, the older sister regained consciousness. As she reached the top of the stairs, she suddenly sensed someone behind her. She slowly turned her head to see her father holding the hammer. Terrified, she cowered to the side. Just as the father was about to strike, the younger sister's crying made him stop. But the next second, he swung the hammer toward the younger sister. At that moment, another father's voice came from downstairs. The father upstairs immediately dropped the hammer and walked into a room. Then another father came up from downstairs. He looked at the sisters with confusion, wanting to know what had happened. Now the sisters were completely bewildered, unable to tell which one was their real father. The father told the sisters to go back to their rooms. At that moment, their mother's hand picked up the hammer from the floor. Without a word, she walked over holding the hammer. She looked up and swung it at the father without hesitation. When she missed her husband, she turned and swung at the girl instead. The father quickly rushed over to protect his daughter from getting hurt. Then the mother's face broke into an eerie smile as she silently walked into a room. But it wasn't over yet. Another mother appeared at the top of the stairs. The father turned around in shock to look into the room, staring at the mother inside with terror. He walked step by step toward the door and opened it, only to find that the mother who had just entered the room had vanished. But the hammer on the floor proved that something sinister had indeed occurred.